Welcome to our 8th in this series of Window Shop with Car and Driver. This week, we came up with the idea that you've now inherited $40,000. You already have your daily driver. So what you do with that $40,000 is entirely up to you. So we all decided to collect cars. So we came up with a car collection. And Joey, you want to take it away with your 40 grand, what you did with your 40 grand?
Sure. So my theme is late 1980s to early 1990s Japanese cars that changed the world, basically. So this was kind of like a golden era for Japanese automakers. It's when Lexus started, it's when the Miata came out, it's when Acura did the NSX. Obviously, with $40,000, I can't afford all the best things, but I found some of the best things, I think.
Let's see them.
So my first pick is this 1993 Lexus LS400.
Oh,
Ooh.
yes. Yeah.
This was
Museum condition.
Yeah, there you go. This is what launched Lexus in the US, basically. And it was a huge kind of watershed moment for the luxury space.
Oh my God. It's rare to find one that's not gold, too. They all
Yeah.
seem to be gold.
Well, it's got the gold
badge
badges, which is
Yeah.
important.
You know that
It's in
engine ended
really
up in
nice
a boat?
condition.
Ooh, Michelin's.
Yeah,
This looks beautiful.
it's really nice. I actually found
Where
they're
is it?
really cheap.
Atlanta?
I found some for like $2,500 that were decent, but this was like the best.
It's got the later wheels, too, that came out, I think, in 93 or 92. It's got the 16s, which will make that
Yeah.
car look so much better.
It looks
Was
really
this the
nice.
car that had that ad with the champagne flutes on the hood?
Yes.
Sure did. Yeah.
Okay, so
Nice
this is kind of
choice.
my Lexus representative, and I think
God,
this
that's a
is
winner.
an iconic car. Next is my Acura representative. So this is a
Ooh, it looks
legend.
rough.
It's not as nice. I'll
So
put that up.
7,900 on the first one.
Yeah, this one's 3,500. It's a manual. It's in New York. I like
the
the coupe.
manual?
Yeah, V6 manual. So I love that. It's got the original radio.
Wow.
I
This
found a
looks-
really nice Legend sedan, but it was an automatic, and it was just a little less.
No, this is cooler than that.
Yeah, I like the coupe.
This seems like a sorry substitute for an NSX, though.
I mean, you can't afford an NSX with a $40,000
That's for
budget.
a different
True.
podcast.
What's that, Casey?
I think I froze it for a second, but I was saying I have a crazy.
He's frozen.
Frozen again.
Uh-oh.
Frozen
Right,
forever. He's in carbonite. I love that.
Okay, next is, of course, you have to pick a Miata because it was pretty revolutionary. And this is my favorite color for the NA Miata. It's pretty rare.
Oh, that's an
So
early
this
one.
one's a little expensive.
Do you know what they call this
Definitely
color?
find cheaper Miatas.
What's it called?
Mariner Blue.
Oh, okay.
Right here, Mariner Blue.
Oh,
Oh,
Mary. Yeah.
blue. Yeah, that's the early color. So this is the 1.6 too.
Yeah, it's an early one. They're pretty, I mean, it's super slow, but it's a Miata. You don't need to go fast. It's still fun.
No, I own a Miata and I love it, and I have one on my list too.
Yeah, but you have the 1.8, don't you?
Yeah, but that's not that much quicker.
It doesn't change that much. Next, this isn't, I wouldn't say this car changed the world, but I did want a pickup truck in there. And I like the hard body because, first of all, it's built in the US. So Nissan was one of the first Japanese automakers to build cars in the US. They started building trucks in Tennessee in, I think, 1983, which was a year after Honda started building the Accord in Ohio in 82. A Tacoma is kind of the go-to for like an old Japanese truck, but I actually really like the hard bodies, and I think they're sort of.
I think they're great looking. They're indestructible too.
Yeah.
They have those extra tall side windows in the back. They like go up
Oh
and
yeah,
over.
yeah,
Yeah.
They've got 6-bolt wheels. They're really, really overbuilt.
yeah. So that's just kind of a practical choice.
Where is it? Oh, it's in Maryland.
Yeah, in Maryland. The next one is very personal to me. It's a purple two-door RAV4. So the RAV4, I would say the RAV4 is definitely like a revolutionary vehicle. It was kind of the first like compact crossover. I had a babysitter with a two-door white RAV4 manual hardtop. So this like pulls at the heartstrings for me.
Wow, those
It's a
seats.
really, really great car.
So 90s.
This example is particularly 90s because of the seats and the color. I love the shift boot. This is actually the most expensive car of the 6 that I found, ironically enough.
Yeah, that thing
$8,000.
has held its value really well.
I think
Yeah,
just
how
because
much
it's
could it
a
have been new?
three-door,
That may be priced a little steep.
it's a little.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I
I
could talk
prefer the
about it.
CRV of this vintage, though. I like those early
Mm.
CRVs a lot.
Yeah, I like the RAV4 better. But I actually
would-
found a green. I think they're in high demand because I found a green one in San Francisco, I think, that was $7,000 yesterday, and by today the ad was gone. So
But clearly, it's
This one's been
but
up
this
for
one's been
24
up for
days.
24 days, so maybe I could talk them down.
I went down this
Oh,
reminds
it's
me
not
of like a little Via Cross. I went down the Via Cross
Yeah.
road
Yeah,
during
it
this
has a very
process.
similar aesthetic.
Joey.
Yeah.
I could go get this for you. It's in Burbank.
Yeah, I'm down.
Please
I mean,
do.
I'm not going to spend $8,000 on it, but maybe I can talk them down. Anyway, and then the last car was the hardest car to find. I think that it was maybe one of the most revolutionary ones in terms of what it did for like pushing the performance envelope. And that is a Nissan 300ZX Turbo.
Yes.
So
Yes.
initially, all the turbos I was finding were super expensive. They're like 20 grand at least. That wasn't going to fit into my budget. So I actually solicited the help of Austin Irwin, who's also on staff. He's a huge Nissan Z person. So at first we were finding some of the 2+2s, which have like this extended body. It's kind of awkward looking. You don't really
A
want
little
that.
bit, yeah. And all
Is that
the
a T-top? Is that a fixed roof or a T-top?
I think it's a T-top.
all the 2+2s
even
are naturally aspirated engine. You can't get the
Yeah.
2+2.
So after I decided I didn't want the 2+2, I started looking at naturally aspirated ones, but I couldn't find any.
Look at these yokels in the background.
So this is a cheap turbo that I found, only 7,500. It's kind of suspiciously cheap, actually.
They put a Fairlady Z badge.
It might be a Canadian car.
Ah.
Oh,
I think they were
could be.
Fairlady Z in Canada. Do you
Yeah,
have
it's in Minnesota, so that could kind of explain it.
Those are so, I still
Or
think those are
Wisconsin.
amazing.
But it's pretty nice for $7,500. Less than that RAV4.
So what's your favorite car of all your choices, Joey?
I think the LS is like in the best condition. Like that's the one I saw, and I was like, oh man, this is like a
That's the
great
one you
ad,
wrote.
great
You
car.
had to buy one. Yeah.
But the RAV4, I don't know, holds a special place in my heart.
That's the emotional choice.
Yeah.
Joey, you've been talking about buying a two-door RAV4 for as long as I've known you, so it's time to maybe pull the trigger.
Yeah, maybe I'll find a cheap one and do it someday.
They're only getting more expensive, it looks like.
Yeah.
There was one that just sold on Bring a Trailer that was a JDM model.
All right,
Go
Drew,
for it.
let's see what Drew has.
Okay, so I love weird cars. I love bad cars. So here is my selection of unloved weirdos. And I don't know that much about any one of these, so you guys feel free to jump in with any facts that you have.
I'm excited to see what you've chosen.
My first one here is a
Oh,
Fiat X19. I am a huge Fiat fan. Had a 500 for a while. This one looks really pretty. I love the color combination.
Those wheels dated.
This has the interior. I have to show you guys. Has like, I think it's like
ostrich?
ostrich.
That's
God,
weird.
this is so bizarre. I don't know if that's factory.
Or is that perforated or is that ostrich?
I don't really know. It's kind of hard to say because when you zoom in on these, it's
It's not much bigger.
Is that a good car?
No.
no, probably not. So, but this
Sorry,
is, I mean, it's a fun little mid-engine sports car, right? So
It's
think we
perfect for a collection.
We
yeah.
ran a story a while ago about a guy who was like the X19 mechanic. I mean, that was probably 8 years ago.
The keeper of the flame.
Yeah. We should have a link to that pops up right now.
So this was like a fun choice for my collection. Same year, but going into a different European country. This diesel.
Yikes.
This one is for sale at Rover Classic,
Yeah,
and
they
I
have a
love
lot of
their
weird
listings
stuff there.
because they have so many pictures. This
I
thing
love
has
that color.
like 99
Cool.
photos.
Could be gray, could be blue.
Is it a gas or a diesel, Drew?
It's a diesel.
It's a diesel. Wow.
And it's
Probably
got the-
better.
the
Like-
yellow-
That has to be so slow.
And it comes with the orange French city lights.
I don't know.
I
it's
like this
cool.
choice.
I like this a lot.
That-
Manual
That's a
or
pretty cool
automatic?
car.
It's got the brown interior, which is I prefer instead of black. So
Manual or automatic?
this
Looks
one
like it's a
I think it's a
manual.
manual. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
This looks great. Where is it? Where is this place? Oh, New
I
Jersey.
think like New Jersey or New York somewhere.
That is so.
Yeah,
awesome.
this place in particular has, when they do their listings, they always provide so many photos, so you can really get a good idea of what you're looking at. And they
Yeah,
do
they
have a
have
lot of
weird
weird
stuff.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is my second unloved weirdo. So for my third one, I have to go with this cool Daihatsu Rocky. Uh-oh, Tony. Tell me why this is a bad choice.
No, it's just so crazy.
I'm all
How'd
over
you
the
come
place.
up? How'd you come up? I mean, what was your search criteria? Because these are pretty eclectic.
It's so
I literally just
classic.
like scrolled through in the price range that I was shopping for until I found like weird things.
I love it. I mean, how many Daihatsu Rockies could there
There
possibly
were
be in
two.
the country?
There were two, and this one was.
There were
like,
two, and
way
the other
too-
one was totaled.
But look how clean this one is. Like,
No,
there's
it's
not even a
awesome.
spot
Yeah.
on the carpet.
I'm
So-
I'm impressed with your collection thus far.
So three
am I.
manuals so far. You like? My fourth one is this cool.
Oh,
Whoa.
Is that an
That's
R
by
or a
far.
fake R?
It's a V8. It's pretty nice.
This can be like a little cool date night car.
Is it the R? Is it an R?
Yeah, it's an R.
Oh yeah, there it is. It's an R.
Yeah, it had the grill, but
It
So
looks
this
kind
has
of good,
the
actually.
supercharged. This has the supercharged Ford engine, right? Or no, it has. Was it a Jag engine? I can't remember.
I think it was just the Ford 4-liter.
with the blower on it.
Yes.
Not likely to be a reliable choice, but it's pretty. Probably is fast.
Yeah, like 400
Good condition,
horsepower.
too.
good tidbit.
Big
This
eight.
is the car I put my resume on that got me a job at Car and Driver.
Ah. Did you
Same
find it in
color.
the parking lot?
No, it was a friend's neighbor. It was Andre was a friend's neighbor. That's a whole other story.
I like it. How many miles?
96,000.
Oh man,
Yeah.
thing's
It's
gonna hurt.
probably-
But you'll
probably
have
gonna be a
that
problem.
Rocky to drive on the days that your other cars are dead.
Yeah. Okay, and so my final one, I have to go for it because it's probably like the weirdest, most unloved car ever. But I have always loved them because I love weird stuff.
Oh,
I'm
man.
around.
For under 10 grand?
I can't.
That's really
That is a cottage car if I've ever seen one.
How
Yeah.
did you find this? I love
I
it.
think it's neat.
Why is it $10,000?
How many miles?
This
is it
was
on?
the cheapest one I could find.
He
All
did-
I
of
know,
them are
that's-
like still like 15 to 20,000.
How many miles are on it, Drew?
80,000.
That's not too horrible.
That's not too bad.
I like
Yeah,
how
that's the
Cars.com
second.
identifies this as a hot car.
It's a hot car.
I remember when Casey told me years ago, before this car launched, one of the PR flacks got drunk and told him that there was going to be a Murano convertible, and I was like, "There is no way that's real."
Yeah, it was like 5 years before it came out. I think it was 2006. It was 2000. No, it was 2007. It was Pebble Beach 2007.
I love your collection, Drew. All right, Casey, you're up.
Okay, let me. So I didn't pick. I didn't come up with like any kind of theme, mainly because I started to, and then I kind of got. I got upset that I couldn't find good examples of the things I really wanted. So we see in my screen right here.
Yep.
So these are all kind of like personal to me, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna definitely get a couple for me, and then maybe one for the family. And
Ooh.
E36 M3s. That was like a light switch car for me. This is a 3-liter, not a 3.2. And it hasn't been stepped on too bad.
A little bit, but not too.
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, but I mean, there's nothing that can't be reverted.
Yeah, like the headlights or.
Yeah, the headlights, like that's not mine. But this has the optional. These are optional motorsport wheels. Those are sweet wheels.
It looks a little low too.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been lowered, right?
Yeah, it's got some Eibach something or another, but
It's got the Vader seats.
yeah. Well, no, not Vader.
Those aren't Vaders?
I thought Vader was like gray.
Oh, I thought Vader was just that seat back.
Is that seat
I'm
back?
sure somebody will tell us in the comments.
Okay. And it's moderately clean, but this was a car, like the first time I drove one, I just remember being like, holy shit, that's what everyone talks about. And
Cool.
you know, I mean, like this car was we named this car the best handling car period in 1997.
Yeah, I think it was like 5.6 to 60.
Yeah, it was like mid fives.
Okay.
It wasn't super quick. Well, it was 5.3 to 60. The early one was 5.3. It was just as quick as the 3.2 that came later. Just not as much torque, so you kind of had to drive them a little harder. But I've always had a soft spot for M3s, so for E36 M3s in particular. So I'll get one eventually.
That's your choice for yourself. What are the other ones?
Well, this other one's my choice too. But it's
Oh yeah.
you know, a moderately clean S2000. I'm not afraid to buy an 80,000 mile S2000 or even a 100,000 mile S2000. But
You like
again,
the
these were
AP1 more than the AP2.
I do. Yeah, I like the revs. I mean, yeah, because I like driving chainsaws. That's fun.
Is there a shot of that engine? I love the way that.
Yeah.
It's like half a Ferrari V8.
This
There.
one,
Yeah.
yeah,
The red.
Oh yeah.
yeah, the red. But it's like, you know, a lot of these cars had like aftermarket intakes. It's you know, like the 300ZX. It's hard. It's hard to find these cars that haven't been like molested
Messed with, yeah.
and messed
Look how
with.
far
So
back that engine is too. I mean, it's
yeah, if you I mean, yeah,
behind the
this is-
axle line.
Yeah, I mean, like there's the axle, and you know, if you haven't driven one, these are really cool, and I particularly like the 02 and the 03. So they got synchro upgrades and the interior. This in the 2000 and 2001s, this is all like carpet, and it just got like more leather on the interior, and I don't know. This is like one of the best shifting cars ever. They're just great cars. So, and then the last one is family, and it's kind of like a toss up, although, and it's definitely the most bizarre car that I chose. But
Yes.
these Eurovans are disturbingly collectible and have
Yeah.
held their value.
People really
and-
like them and use them.
Yeah, and I mean, like
this
this
a really good price on one. I haven't seen them this cheap before.
Yeah, well, this isn't the camper, so it's like between the MV. So the
Okay.
MV
This is the
came with
Weekender?
the yeah. So this is the Weekender top was an option, but the MV came with like let me find it, like a side folding table.
Yeah.
And
But it doesn't have like the little kitchenette.
no, that's the full camper, and that was a Winnebago modification.
Oh.
This
And
guy.
That's a VR6 by then too, I think.
Yeah, these are both.
2001 is when they put the VR6 in it.
Yes. Well,
Before it
yes,
was
but
in-
this camper, this was available when the Eurovan was not, I believe.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because I think there was a hiatus where you could get only the camper and not the regular
Yeah, they brought it
Eurovan.
back.
So
like,
this thing
when
stretched.
Yeah,
Um,
it was like a Westphalia conversion.
this one was Winnebago. The
Winnebago?
MV, the shorter wheelbase with a popper, is a Westphalia top.
Gotcha.
It's cool.
And you know, I mean, it's something that I could enjoy with my family, and I also love that color.
Yeah, it's cool.
Good.
What was the
And-
price on the white one?
Right one was about the same price, more mileage, but this one has like the full. Let me find the pictures. I'll skip through
The whole kitchen.
most of the garbage. Yeah, I just reread the road test, and we didn't love it at the time.
No,
Which
I
isn't
remember
surprising.
these in the press fleet. They're not that great to drive. I mean, they're very, you
well,
know.
I think it was like
Yes,
people thought it was just like, oh, this is Volkswagen's minivan, and it was actually totally different from any of the normal
Yeah.
mainstream
Oh
minis.
yeah, totally.
Yeah, and also like the mileage. Like I'm not, and this is another car that I'm just not concerned about the mileage because these things just don't stop, and it's all highway. You know,
True. 'cause
it's like
people
these things get turned on and they get driven. They get driven 2,000 miles, and then they get, you know, then they sit for a little bit. But yeah, so that's probably.
Nice.
Cool
So a
choice.
2-seater, a 4-seater, or a 5-seater, and a Eurovan.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, Eric, you're up now. Let's see
All
what
right.
has collected.
So I have a theme of sorts with mine, the theme being variety, specifically mechanical variety in drivetrain configuration. So I have a front engine, front wheel drive, front engine, rear drive, a mid-engine vehicle, and an all-wheel drive vehicle. So I'm going to start with the maybe more boring one, a 2004 Focus SVT.
Oh, I remember
From a
that.
forum.
Yes, from a forum. These are hard to find, even on Auto Trader and that kind of stuff. And when you do find them, they're like 200,000 miles and they're
Right.
$1,000 or whatever. So this one was $4,500 with like 138,000 miles.
5-door's nice.
Yeah, I like the 5-door, and I like this. I think it's part of the European appearance package, the whatever that is, 12-spoke wheel.
I
or
like
something.
those wheels. Yeah.
those are cool.
There was a 5-spoke on the early 2-doors or 3-doors, and yeah, I like this wheel a lot better. And this car was out right as I was coming of driving age, and was something I kind of lusted after. So that's why I'm still really curious about these. It was a Comparo winner against GTI and Civic Si.
They're
on
super fun. Super fun to drive.
Yeah, it's a great chassis.
Yeah, and they, I said there's a lot at 200,000 miles. They seem to hold up really well. They're quite reliable. The problem is I think they've just been beat to crap by most of the owners because, they did depreciate, and as they depreciated, they just went to owners that were flogging them harder and harder.
And they're all manuals too, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're all manuals.
Yes. Yep. And I think the head, it was a Z-Tech based 2-liter. The head, I'm pretty sure, was breathed on by Cosworth. It was good for like 47 horsepower over the base 2-liter.
Yeah, I think they were like
170,
170 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, right at 170. And
So that's your front driver.
that's my front driver. So my next one is I need a mid-engine car. I dream of owning a Cayman one day. Obviously, that's not going to happen with 40,000. So I'm going with the first gen Toyota MR2. This one sold for 13,000. These things I'm always impressed at for their age, how low the mileage is. So this is 69,000 miles.
It looks super clean.
Very nice looking condition. Interior looks like it's held up really well. 5-speed manual.
A friend of mine had one of these in high school, and he left the keys in the trunk, and then another friend of mine stole his car and then crashed it.
Oh no.
I bet your friends, Tony.
No, it wasn't me.
So
Oh, you have met my friends, yeah.
I know. Is it those friends?
Yep.
Nice.
I feel like this is like a far more reliable version of like that Fiat X.
Of your Fiat, yeah.
They look kind of similar, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
This
and
is the idea perfected.
I love the styling on these. I go back and forth. Would I want to own this first gen or the second gen one? But I think,
I think the first gen is more iconic.
Yeah, I think I would start with this.
It's beautiful. I like it.
My next pick, all-wheel drive. I was thinking originally front engine all-wheel drive. I ended up mid-engine all-wheel drive. This is in the same vein as Casey's pick.
Nice.
Ooh, I love
Delica.
these.
Even everywhere on the West Coast, in like Oregon and Washington. These are super popular.
These are definitely having a moment. I was watching one that just sold today, and I thought it'd go for right around 10,000. It went for 13, I think. I was pretty surprised by that.
See, they're
Turbo diesel, right-hand drive, obviously.
Engine under the seat too, right? It's one of those, right?
Yeah, there's a picture here. Engine
That's cab forward, cab over.
Yeah, there
engine
it is.
under the passenger seat. The passenger seat and center seat kind of tip to access that.
That's pretty
And
badass.
you can get these, with all kinds of camper add-ons, pop tents, and roof racks and that kind of stuff. This one's fairly simple and straightforward. It is a 5-speed. That was a priority to me.
That's cool. Matt Farah has one.
I know. I'm super envious of that.
Do you really want one?
Yeah, I mean, I do.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
I don't know if you. I mean, you said you were like looking at ones that sold. There's a guy in Windsor that imports them. If,
Gotcha.
if
I
you're-
mean, I don't think if I was
I
buying
got a
something
guy.
for $13,000, it's not the first thing on my list, right? I would probably go for that MR2 before I'd go for this. But you know, if I
It's
could
the collection we're building.
if I could convince my wife to drive this, I would absolutely have one.
This does not fulfill her fuel economy.
Plus, the first time she's gonna take it through a drive-through, she's gonna be like, "Nope, divorce. We can't do
Yeah,
this."
can't do this. And you know, hey, can you learn to drive a manual and right-hand drive with a screaming baby in the back seat? Probably not.
Oh no.
So thus far, my collection is extremely slow. I think the first two are right around 8 seconds to 60, and this one is probably 18 seconds or something terrible. So my next one, I felt like I needed something with a little bit of speed. So it is a Fox Body Mustang.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And
These are having a moment too, I think.
Yeah, they are.
they are, and I was pretty surprised on this price here. It claims to be a 28,000-mile Mustang, and I said, there's no way. But when you look at the interior photos of this, it appears to be
Really
immaculate.
clean.
So
I
I
love
think it truly was a 28,000-mile with a manual
That's a good
Well,
price for that.
Yeah, I was
for
surprised. it didn't
12,000,
go
and this sold right at late February. So maybe, you know, the world was falling apart and people weren't paying attention for that moment. The only other explanation to me is that the color scheme is so bizarre.
Yeah, I've never
It's
seen
not
that
great.
before.
The actual coupe is
Cabernet-
more. The actual coupe is more sought after than the hatchbacks. The hatchbacks
Yeah,
are a little wobbly.
But still, I mean, a 28,000 mile one, that's awesome.
Well, and
But yeah, that's pretty cool.
the aftermarket has plenty of fixes, right, to stiffen the chassis, some underbody bracing and that kind of stuff. But
They sound amazing too.
The Cabernet Red with that like race red stripe around the center of it is so bizarre.
It's very
I
80s.
kind of like it.
That might be like 3M high-vis tape somebody put on.
No, I think that was from the factory. I think they came like that.
It's probably factory. I just think it's a color combo that they would never let you do in modern times, right?
So 2 Fords, a Mitsubishi, and a Toyota. I
A
love it.
Toyota. And there you have a nice mix of rear drive, mid-engine, front drive. You got everything. So that's my
Something for everyone.
All right, Tony, what you got?
All right, let's take a look. So my idea was, oh gosh, I got to find which tab it is. Here it is. So my idea was to collect, sort of like Eric's idea, to collect cars with different cylinder counts. So I found a a Citroen 2CV.
Cool.
Two
I love
two
these.
cylinders.
We were
So
just
it's my
talking about
two-cylinder car, and this one's in the Netherlands because apparently they're worth a lot. They're worth like double this price. Like the cheapest one I could find in America was like 13 grand. So I think if I import this cheaply, I could maybe make a profit on it. Not that I'd want to sell any of my lovely collection. 29 horsepower. This is the Charleston one, so it's the fancier one.
That's the European vacation model with the.
Yeah.
Did they have a Charleston?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, so that's my 2-cylinder. My 4-cylinder is like Joey's. It's a Miata.
So you already own one
You
of these.
actually own one.
I do, and I love it. It's one of my favorite cars, and I can count on it to start every time and be reliable and good. This is a 1.8, so it's got 128 horsepower instead of the 116, so it's the big block. So that is
I like
it's
it.
manual too. I forget how many miles are on it. It's out here in California. 119,000 miles, so not crazy high mileage. It's got these ugly aftermarket wheels, which I'd have to change, but it's got that special blue paint, which I kind of like.
What do they call that color?
I think it was something mica, like blue mica or something like
Okay.
that.
Was that one of the limited edition ones?
It might be. They just took the
I think
wheels
so,
off.
yeah.
Although
Yeah.
limited editions might have had a different color interior. I don't know.
Yeah.
So the next car is my inline 6 W124 Benz, 108,000 miles. Looks pretty clean.
I really want this to be a wagon.
I know. The sedans are actually worth the least of all of the body styles, probably because they're the most common. The wagons and the convertibles obviously get a premium. But this would be, this is my old man car if I want something quiet with my 6 cylinders.
It's like a taxi.
And then for my 8-cylinder car, I'm with Eric. I found myself a Fox body, 225 horsepower, 4.9 liter badged 5 liter Mustang. Convertible. I couldn't find a coupe that fit the price range. This one's a little scuzzy.
Talk about structural rigidity with the hatchback. I'm sure the convertible is even worse.
Oh, it's got to be so bad.
How much is this one?
5,500, and it's got 53,000 miles.
Is that a white interior too?
Yeah, and the driver's seat is surprisingly dirty.
Yeah.
Surprisingly?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
The
The difference between
You would have had so much more credit if you found a triple white one.
All right.
Yeah.
A friend of mine had one of those in high school. V10, Audi S6 with the Lamborghini engine.
Ooh.
$500.
What's going on with that offset? And this has to be a rebuilt title.
It's got some bad aftermarket wheels.
Oh no.
But
That
gets you.
what kind of tires are those? Were those Mickey Thompsons?
I can swap out. No, they're some weird off-brand. Yeah, I can swap out clean title, clean Carfax, 110,000 mostly highway miles. This car had 435 horsepower, so 435 horsepower for $8,500.
Why do people say mostly highway? Like, how are you ever going to check that?
You're not, but that's why they say it, because it's.
I know.
Yeah.
So V12, that's all that's left. I mean, I couldn't find a V16 for our budget, so the V12 is an '89 BMW 750iL.
That's nice.
The 295 horsepower masterpiece from BMW. I love this like tobacco color interior too.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And my car total, I think my total for my whole collection of 2 to 12 cylinder cars is 39.7. So
You got to add the importation for the Citroen.
no.
No, he's using miles to get there, and
You're playing with fire with these 10 and 12 cylinder cars.
yeah.
Oh, completely.
We had a long-term S8 that had that 10 cylinder that was in a really bad accident, and it was I remember that thing just being a nightmare to have serviced because like we had to have the steering rack replaced for some odd reason, but the engine had to come out, and we had this long-term car for 40,000 miles, and I think the engine was in and out of it 4 times.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this would. I mean,
And there was and it was all like warranty work, with the exception of the accident. But
I mean, there's a reason the resale value is not.
Nah, you don't want one of those.
but that was a great.
They still use this engine in the R8.
Yeah.
And the Lamborghini.
All right, so now that we've seen everybody's collection, it's time to judge. So, Joey, what do you guys think of
Japanese cars that
Joey's
changed the
collection
world.
of Japanese classics?
I like it.
Definitely
Yeah,
super strong collection.
Yeah.
All right, Drew's bizarre and eclectic.
I'm giving myself a thumbs up.
Yeah, you get a thumbs up just for finding
for
it.
sure.
Some effort.
Did you have 6 cars? Who had 6 cars?
I had
I
6.
had 5. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Just the effort you put in, and
Yeah.
the shock that you gave us is 2 thumbs up.
I do not have the patience to find nice examples of like $8,000 cars. So much crap you have to weed through.
All right, Casey, what about Casey's collection? The BMW M3, the Eurovan, and the
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
I mean, it gets a thumbs up for me just for the Eurovan because it's so cool.
Yeah, I did say that there's a strong possibility in reality I'd ditch the Eurovan and just spend $25,000 on a really nice M3. So maybe that's a
If that's the
thumbs
case.
down right now. I don't know.
All right,
No, I probably wouldn't, because the Eurovan would be a lot of fun with a family.
Yeah, yeah.
Eric and his different drivetrains, strong.
Yeah, I like the MR2 a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Love that.
Engine vehicles in there. I think that
Yeah.
Delica is like a nice
Delica,
surprise.
2 front
And
engine
they're all
cores and
manuals
2
too,
mid-engine
right?
rotor.
They're all
Yeah.
manuals. Too.
Anyway.
All right, and then my 2 to 12 cylinder, I have to give myself 2 thumbs up.
Just for the reliability, I'm gonna go thumbs down.
Yeah, I don't know.
I want to say that list
I like the
started
Citroen.
out strong with the 2CV.
Yeah,
and just kind of went downhill.
Went downhill as the cylinder count went up.
You should have just spent $40,000 on one Douchevaux and then be done with it.
Yeah.
All right, well that's this episode of Window Shopping with Car and Driver. See you guys.
Thanks for having me.